This is episode 92 of the Gold Squadron podcast. I'm your host, Dion Morales, and today I'm joined by William Discount Dion for the weekend Hagewood.
I tried my best, Dion. I think it turned out okay, though.
Marcel, 2-2 Manzano. Marcel probably has his mute button on Manzano.
You see, that was my two. That was my two. I started out with 2 losses. Now here's my 2 wins right here.
And Luke, I like to paint Carrington.
I also like to beat Dion at the Outrider Cup.
Hey, we'll talk about that later. So our plans for today is we're going to be talking about Phase 1 of Gold Squadron's content expansion, also about the Outrider Cup that happened last weekend. But before we get to that, we need to talk to you patrons. I got a couple of teases for you, okay? Got a couple of teases for you for some upcoming cards. If you haven't seen it on Patreon, these pictures are up there. So if you don't catch this quick glimpse, don't worry, you can look it up there. So here is sneak peek number 1. Chat, feel free to speculate what you think that is. I love doing these, by the way, these little close-up shots. And of course, those of you who are listening in your car, you can't see it. So check it out on Patreon or check out the video. You'll be at about 2 minutes in, whatever the timestamp is here, if you want to see it. If you're a patron, you got access to it, no problem. There is shot number 1, and here is number 2.
And you got chat number 3 there called your notes on the screen for the whole YouTube to see.
Ah!
Leaked footage.
Oh, my leaked footage. Luckily, there's nothing good on there. You didn't see anything. You gotta watch out for that. Whoopsie. Alrighty. And there is number 2. Alrighty. What do you think? Interesting. We're gonna move on.
That almost looks hand drawn.
Hey, I don't know what you're talking about. Listen, I'm just a guy. That's
you
all
said
I know.
speculate. That's the best I got.
Alrighty. And I want to say thank you to our brand new patrons since December 18th. Sorry, that is a lie. That is the wrong date. Since last Monday, last Tuesday, I want to say thank you to Eric Conklin, Astro Boy. Oh man, this is a Swedish name, I think, or a Norwegian name. Torborgen Ostabo, Terrence Brown, Sam Stott, Michael Lacasse, Sean Sapone, and Rob Kniesler. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for joining the largest group of supporters we have in the Gold Squadron podcast. Super excited. Now, topic number 1. The expansion of Gold Squadron podcast. Some of the things, new things that we're doing here. Yeah, we'll start here. We'll be back. How's it going, everybody? My name's Dion Morales. I'm your host of the Gold Squadron podcast. There you go. So we're talking about the Gold Squadron Paintcast. Super excited about that. And that is the reason why Mr. Luke Carrington is with us. How you doing, Luke?
Hey, what's going on, Dion?
All right. So, people, when I was conceptualizing this idea of wanting to work with other people, you were one of the first people who reached out to me. And I was like, you know what? This could be really cool. This could be really cool because I have always been a huge fan of Luke Carrington and his ships. Every artist is, of course, most critical of themselves. I'm sure you absolutely are in love with every single thing you've ever painted. I know I am, but that's my personal opinion.
Let's go with that.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Because I know both myself and Marcel have some of your stuff, and we fly it all the time. anybody who's watching at home right now, you can see some of the ships that Luke has worked on in the past. A little slideshow going there. And I want to start by saying that let's ask Luke, who is Luke Carrington? What do I need to know about you? If I've never heard about you before, give me the introduction.
Well, I am based out of Fort Wayne, Indiana. Hang out a lot with Chris Chico Brown. So shout out to him. How you doing, buddy? We basically started X-Wing, I don't know, just about the wave that the K-Wing dropped? I think I started right after Nathan ID lost Worlds the last time that he was the runner-up. Yeah, I didn't say that Paul Heaver won. I said that Nathan ID lost. So just so anyway, moving on, played some X-Wing, had a bunch of fun, started the kind of competitive travel scene. I think that over the course of the past 3 years that I've gone, I think I've hit almost 40 regionals and definitely over about 70 Star Championship events. But super passionate about painting. Love painting. I love doing repaints. Love... my favorite thing in the entire world was last year at Adepticon when we went out and got and I walked out and I just saw all of these different paint jobs. A lot of them mine, a lot of them other people's, but it's just the coolest thing. Stock paint jobs are cool, but other paint jobs are better.
Fantastic. So, as we continue, just kind of learning about you, and as we continue to, there's people who have never heard of Luke Carrington. What are some things in the community that you're involved with besides just, painting some ships?
Well, like I said, if you are in the Midwest, you will see me at a tournament eventually. So I'm sorry about that. However, one of the big tournaments that you'll see me at is the Campaign Against Cancer. I am one of the board members, along with Pascal Mazzazi, Chad Heffley, Chris Chico Brown, and then a couple of people who don't play X-Wing. Campaign Against Cancer is a charity X-Wing event that is held across, I think we're shooting for 30 locations this year. They're all played at the exact same time. So we started about 9 o'clock in the morning. So East Coast will start. And then as 9 wraps around the globe, we will continue to play. We raise money. This year, we're raising it for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Last year, we raised $35,000. All of the proceeds for the whole day go to that. And it's just a great event, right? You're raising money for a great cause. You're getting, you get tons of swag. You don't even have to be good. You just go and play, and it's just totally random. It's just a raffle draw. So if you're good at raffles, this is something for you. If you're bad at raffles, you'll still probably get something because we just get tons of prize support, and it's amazing. And so really great day. Everybody should come out and go to it.
Yeah, the Campaign Against Cancer is one of my favorite events in the year. I wasn't able to go this last year because it was my wife's birthday, but hopefully I can make it this year. We made our donation actually at Outrider to Luke, a box full of ships that are going to be donated, painted up by painters across the world, and Luke is in charge of coordinating all that. What's involved in taking care of that, Luke?
Well, okay, so this year we are shooting for just about 145 ships, right? To be all hand painted, right? Individually, via anybody who wants to paint them, right? So if you listener right now are thinking, man, I'd like to paint up a ship, then you just get a hold of Dion, you get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me on Facebook, you can get a hold of me on Instagram, contact Dion, he'll shoot you to me, contact Marcel, whoever, right? I'm pretty easy to get a hold of. Contact me, I will get you ships, you can paint them, you ship them back. So basically, we send this out to, 50 different painters. Everybody paints 2, 3, 4 ships, whatever, or 1, doesn't matter. send it all back, and then we split all the ships up into boxes, and then we send out all the prize support, which, I mean, the ships are just a little portion of it. We have artwork, we have really, really fun surprises that I can't talk about right now.
Ooh.
You're not wrong, but
No!
Oh wait, we're getting fluffies.
no, I didn't say that.
Oh,
I didn't say that.
No
Actually,
leaks here. No leaks. Stop pressuring the man.
Actually, to tell you the truth, I know we've talked about it, and I'm not sure if that is possible again. But we do have other things. I can't say anything. Stop pressuring me. Anyway, you want to come to Campaign Against Cancer. You're doing really good. You're doing a really good thing when we're but yeah, so ships, right? So I got a whole bunch of ships, send them out to people. You guys paint them, you send it back. We send them off to all sorts of all the different locations, and then when you get to your location, you have raffle tickets, and then you can potentially win them.
That's awesome. And for me, a lot of people in my life have been afflicted by cancer, and to be able to, take my love for X-Wing and also put it towards a good cause that has directly affected people in my family, like it's huge for me. So I highly suggest getting involved with the Campaign Against Cancer. And if you can't attend an event or you can't paint a ship, there's always donations. What's the website for that, Luke?
I believe the website is Twin Sons. Well, okay. You can
I know
definitely go to Twin
changed,
Sons
it
Charities.
changed a little bit, right?
Yeah. If you go to twinsonscharities.org, okay, I'll put it in the Twitch chat. But if someone wants to put it in the YouTube chat, one of you YouTubers, I would really appreciate it. You can go there. You'll be able to sign up. You can't sign up yet. We don't have all of our locations revealed for this moment. But I promise you that if you play X-Wing, after looking at the map, there is definitely a location near you. So you don't. And then last thing, you don't even have to be good to play in this. This is not a competitive event. It's actually a really interesting format. You play 3 rounds, just like normal Swiss, and then you're paired up against how you do against other people who did similarly to you. So if you go 0-3 for your first 3 rounds, you play the rest of the day against other people who went 0-3 or 1-3, right? And if you do really well, you're paired against other competitive people. So the first round just kind of weeds everybody out, and then the second round you're actually playing against people that are playing similar games to you, right? So if you're playing a narrative game or you're just playing for fun, you're going to have fun games. You're not going to be playing against Marcel or other, like super hyper competitive people playing X-Wing, right? And if you're bringing a really strong list, you're going to be playing against people that are also playing competitive lists. So good practice for all sorts of tournaments, and just a fun day overall.
Yeah, it's super awesome. Check that out. Now, Luke, how did you get into painting and modding? Because I know, no hobby comes out of nowhere. Like, what's your origin story? Share it with us, please.
Well, when I was a sophomore in high school, my mom took away the TV for about 3 months. And said that she was tired of me rotting my brain, and so I went down to the local hobby store and found a box of Warhammer 40,000 Tau Fire Warriors, and I painted those up so badly you have just no idea. It was awful. Like the paint was slobbed on. Like I still have pictures of them. If you get me if you get me like drunk at a tournament one night, I might pull them out for you and show you. Like, they're awful. Like, you can barely make out anything at all. But just like all of us, we're all on a journey, right? No one comes out as a painter and just like is just amazing, right? So kept working at it, kept painting, and suddenly, and then I went to college. Discovered that I really, really like girls. So I stopped painting for a while.
Happens. It happens.
Right. And then when I got my career, it turns out that I got really boring and I didn't want to go out to the bar anymore and I didn't want to do like crazy stuff anymore. So kind of that painting bug hit me again. And so like over the last 2 or 3 years, I would say the last 3 years, I really have focused in on painting and really focused in on practicing. And it's yeah, and here I am today, just a normal guy talking to you with not normal people. Dion Morales, Marcel Manzano. It's great.
William, come on.
No, he isn't normal though.
William's pretty normal.
He's like the most normal. We're both kind of weird.
Right.
I'm extraordinary.
Extraordinary.
I'm so ordinary. I'm extraordinary. You know how it is.
Right.
Alrighty. So this brings us to the nitty gritty here. You're going to become a part of the Gold Squadron podcast family of content, whatever. I don't even know what this thing is going to be called, but obviously your show is going to be called the Gold Squadron Paintcast. What's your vision for it? And I want everybody at home to understand kind of how this is going to work. You know, I'm working with Luke, but this is Luke's show. You know, like I am sure I'm in charge of Gold Squadron podcast, but I'm really excited. Luke is a very creative person. We've gone back and forth with ideas. I'm really excited for what the potential of what he wants to bring. He has some great ideas, and I want you to share some of those with our audience. Give them a little tease.
All right. So those of you that already know me, where currently I kind of ventured out into the Twitch sphere to kind of talk about painting and kind of share my love of the craft, right? So one thing that we're really going to be one thing that this show is going to be is this is going to be a way for everyone that wants to learn how to paint, right? If you don't know how to paint at all, this is, and you want to learn, this is going to be a really good start for you. Every week or every 2 weeks, it depends on the ship, right? We're going to be painting a ship from start to finish, right? And we're going to be focusing in on different techniques. We're going to be focusing in on really mastering the basics, because that's how you become a good painter. You don't become a good painter by just slapping paint on a model and just continuing to grind out okay paint jobs. If you work on your technique and you really practice, you're going to get better. And so that's what this whole cast is really going to focus in on. We're going to, additionally, about once a month, we're going to bring in someone else that's not me to come in and talk about what they do, right? We got people who do LED mods that are phenomenal. And I try LED mods and I'm not very good at them, right? But we're going to bring in those people and they're going to teach us about how to do all of this cool stuff. We're going to bring in people who do 3D printing, right? How do you design and print 3D models, right? We're going to bring in other painters who aren't me, because a very important aspect of painting and painting well is understanding how other people are doing things differently, because you're going to make mistakes and then you're going to see how easy it is for someone else to do something. And you're going to go, oh, wow, I was making that way harder than it needed to be. Like, and trust me, and trust me, if you've ever run into that before, like, just know that it's not you. Like, I do this literally all the time. I watch Twitch streamers who paint all the time. I talk to other painters in the community all the time, right? We're really close knit, and so if you want to get better, this is a place for you. Also, if you're already an established good painter, there's 2 ways that you might want to be involved. One, I am going to be talking about advanced techniques. I am going to be talking about I am going to be talking a lot about brushwork, blending, airbrush work, all this kind of stuff that like maybe you guys aren't into right now but want to get better at, right? We're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be talking about how I can help you guys as commission painters get some more exposure and potentially get some more business, right? So I'm like, just as a total clarification, as an FYI, for as long as I am doing this channel, I am not taking any serious commissions. right? I'll be doing stuff for like maybe friends here and there, right? But I'm not taking any money from anybody. I'm not doing anything related to commission painting and X-Wing. My job right now is to make sure that the whole community as a whole gets better and gets closer because of painting. So that's what kind of like the gist of it's going to be. So we're going to have 2 nights a week. We're going to be painting 1 ship to completion. Then we're going to bring in somebody maybe at the end of the month. We're going to talk about their craft, talk about what they do. And if they're a commission painter, we'll throw up some of their stuff and say, and if you like them, you should, and you don't want to paint for them, or you don't want to paint for yourself, you want their stuff, which I totally understand, then you can commission them and you'll be good to go.
There's a lot, man. And we talked about this during our Outrider broadcast. I know that everybody couldn't watch that, but there's so many talented people out there, and to have this as a vehicle to reach some of those that wouldn't have had a platform, I think it's great. So again, very excited for not only having this awesome content, but the increased community input and outreach. Like that's right up my alley. And again, I know, Luke doesn't like me talking too positive about him, but this is one of the many reasons why I'm super excited to be working with Luke, because I know that he's going to be delivering top-notch content for you guys, and has the heart of a person that can really fits the Gold Squadron brand and ideal. I love it. Absolutely love it.
Dion, I have a reputation to uphold, man. Come on.
It's the truth. Listen, I only speak the truth. That's all I do.
Oh, thanks a bunch.
So, our plan for starting, Luke, what's about our start date? That's one thing we're working on. I know we said about 2 weeks from Saturday, so we may be thinking like January 28th.
Yeah, that's what is that? That's not next Monday, but the Monday after?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we can do that. Maybe next Thursday we might do just maybe a test stream.
There you go.
If people want to jump on and kind of we'll do maybe an hour and a half of kind of like here's what this is going to look like for those of you that are interested, that want to provide feedback. Some of my painter friends out there, hey guys, if you want to jump on to Gold Squadron podcast next Thursday evening and say, hey, like, this is what I think, this is what you need to change, this is what I want to see, right? That would be awesome. For those of you that are Gold Squadron fanatics, right, that are all into the podcast, that want to be involved in supporting this whole venture and want to learn how to paint, I want the same feedback, right? I want your perspective on, hey, this is what I didn't understand. You move too fast here, you move too slow here, right? That type of thing. All the feedback that you can give me will really help so that we can kind of, right, like Dion said, it is a show that I'm doing, but it's Gold Squadron standards, right? So we're going to make this professional. We're going to make this look great. And we're going to have this be really, really strong content for everybody.
I love a comment here in the chat. What's the first ship going to be? Gunboat, obviously, right? They love their gunboat. You know
what? We have to, right?
At least one. We got to do at least one.
All right. Yeah, sure. Starter ship will be a gunboat. We'll do it.
There we go. We got him. Fantastic. Will, Marcel, you guys have any questions for Luke? I mean, catch him off guard. See if you can get him to crack a little bit.
What's the biggest thing you've painted so far?
I mean, the largest in terms of size is probably an Imperial Raider. I mean, those things are just massive. They're really big. Probably the hardest thing to paint was Tyler Tippett's Decimator. I don't know if you guys remember that one where I put the end of the Raider onto the Decimator. That took quite a lot of finagling to make it not appear awkward. It still looks awkward.
Oh yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Giant blue engine in the back.
Yeah.
That thing's hilarious. You put it on you set it on the table and it just like wobbles.
Right.
It's fantastic.
Right, All right. Am I still on mute?
No, you're good. We can hear you.
All right, I'm good this time. So, Luke, what is your regionals record versus a Marcel Manzano?
Let me think. Probably about as well as you did the first half of Outrider.
Oh,
right.
Fair enough. No, I don't have questions. So Luke's done a lot of ships for me. I appreciate them. He did one. I can't even say the name of the ship because it's a family-friendly show, but it is a certain superhero that wears a green mask.
Kick butt.
Kick butt. Yeah.
Oh, that story is hilarious.
Yeah.
So
go ahead, you tell it.
Okay, I'll tell it. All right, so Marcel says, I want a ship for you. And I was like, okay, what do you want? He was like, well, just make it kick expletive.
Beep.
Right? Right? And I was like, and I said, are you sure? And so I took that literally, like he wanted something that was really cool. That's what he was trying to convey to me. But I had just watched the movie, like kick, right? And and yeah, I just literally drew the guy with the mask like on the side of the ship, and and I gave it to him, and he was really confused for a minute.
It came out. I actually haven't displayed on my nerd wall.
but it came out pretty good. So
yeah, that, and then also he's done a few other ones. They're all really good. And as far as the campaign against cancer, some of the best swag that I've gotten has been a campaign. The fluffy dice, they're still hanging on my car. Mm-hmm. Also got maybe a total of 3 different painted ships already from it, and also got this like really cool Black Panther that was donated by who knows someone. So it's a lot of cool swag, but more than anything, it's a really cool environment. I really like the way that you go and from the very start you can say, hey, I want to play competitive, I don't want to play competitive. And then even if you say I want to play competitive, you kind of end up the last 3 games matching up against people that that you're gonna have fun against. You're not gonna end up, even if you're on the losing bracket, you're gonna be playing against other people that are kind of starting out as well, and you're gonna have fun either way. So it's pretty cool. I really enjoy it. I hope everybody makes it out. And also, just for outside of painting ships, I don't know if you talked about it, but if there's other ways that people can contribute. If I paint a ship, it's going to turn people away. It's going to, people are going to run for the hills. So there's other ways to contribute. I'd be more than interested to know, what else people could do.
Well, the biggest thing that you can do is go, right? That's the most important thing, because we want you guys to have fun. We want this turnout to be big. Kind of excitement breeds excitement, right? So if you're coming to the campaign against cancer, then that's really like the first and most important thing. The second thing that you can do is, if you guys want to, if it's more about, I want to support the St. Jude's Children's Hospital, you should donate directly to them. We seriously don't take a single dime from this event. And so if you donate to the campaign against cancer, we're going to take it and we're going to turn it around and put it into St. Jude's Hospital. Right. The third thing that you can do is contact Chad Heffley, or go onto Facebook and go to the Campaign Against Cancer Facebook group. Okay, Campaign Against Cancer Facebook group. If you go on there and you type in, I want to help, give me something to do, I know that Chad will find you something that you would be good at. And so with that, that's pretty much the long and short of it. So
yeah, super excited. And we're going to be talking more about the Campaign Against Cancer as we get closer to that. Super excited for the Gold Squadron paint cast. And as for those ships that do get painted on the show, what's going to happen is we're going to turn those around and make those stream prizes. So super excited for that. You get to see the creation of some of what are going to be like our most coveted prizes because they're each of them are one of a kind, and that's super awesome. So for those of you who know or don't know, we stream weekly here, and now the way the Gold Squadron Paintcast is going to kind of fit into our schedule, Mondays, exact times to be determined right now, but basically Mondays we have the Gold Squadron Paintcast, Tuesdays your live podcast recording, Wednesdays is our league night, and Thursdays the Paintcast again. And don't worry, we have more on the way. I'm not ready to make any announcements yet, but there's more to come. We'll talk about that later.
One last thing. I need to make this clear. I don't remember if we are getting or are not getting fuzzy dice. So don't get your hopes up. Like seriously, Chad is gonna kill me if I walked away and said that we were for sure doing it, because I'm racking my brain right now and I don't remember. So, sorry, Chad.
We can hope. We can hope.
Right,
They were super cool.
Right.
Awesome. And so yeah, and you can watch all of our live coverage via Twitch or YouTube. And then also we have upcoming event streaming schedule. We just did the Outrider Cup, and upcoming on January 26th and 27th, we have the Phoenix System Open, which I want to take a quick time out. I know, gentlemen, this isn't in the notes, but it's a perfect time to talk about it. As you guys know, one of the things that we do here at Gold Squadron Podcast is we do have sponsors that help us out for the event streams, because every dollar counts, and the more when sponsors help us out, that means we get to go to more events. Going to get to go to a bunch of Hyperspace trials this season. And in the mail, I got a package from one of our new sponsors. That's District Foundry. I'm going to hide my address, make sure nobody can enhance and see that. But I'm going to go ahead, crack this open, and kind of show off what's in here. Ooh, look at that. So, got a nice note here. Cool. I'm not going to read it out loud. It's a personal note to me from the president, owner, CEO of District Foundry. Oh, look at this. Oh, these are cool. Okay, so for me, for my upgrade cards, I have divided them into boxes. I prefer them in the boxes rather than binders personally. And one thing he sent us are these dividers. Check this out. They're 3D printed. They're absolutely beautiful. Different colored dividers. You get your pilot cards, different colors. I mean, they're in a big bunch here, but all kinds of things where you can put that into your box. It fits perfectly in there. And once I get them all, I'll take a picture. But we're going to be giving away a set of these. We got the pilots and upgrades. Super awesome. And again, we're going to talk more about District Foundry in a couple weekends, but wanted to give District Foundry a shout out because it did get it in the mail today, and it lined up perfectly. Alrighty, let's talk about Outrider Cup. What is Outrider Cup, Marcel?
Well, I just found out for the first time. My first time going. Outrider Cup is a team event where has a very strange and somewhat convoluted rule system that I don't understand. I just showed up and sat down and let the team captains do all the work. But essentially, it's 6-player teams with 2 alternates. This year we had 9 teams all together. Mm-hmm. So that meant 9 times 6 is 54 people playing at a time. Did I get my math right? I hope so. And yeah, so basically the whole it's a complete team event where from months, maybe over 6 weeks to 2 months ahead of time, people are already starting to strategize about what list you're going to take, because you can't you have to use at least 3 factions per event, I guess. Not per event, but
per half, because there's an extended and there's hyperspace.
Hyperspace, exactly. So you have to pick 3 factions where you're flying 2 from each of those factions. You can't duplicate any uniques, so that doesn't just apply to like a faction based. If you're flying Han Solo, or if you're using Han Gunner, that means Han is off the board for everyone on your team, whether they're flying Scum, Rebel, or anything else. or resistance, and also applies to unique upgrades. So if you have a unique upgrade, like let's say you're flying, can't think of any unique upgrades right now, but squad leader. I flew squad leader. So because I had squad leader, nobody else from any faction could use squad leader. So it's a pretty interesting event, and then a bunch of yelling at each other and stuff happens for an hour between rounds, and then you find out after an hour who you're gonna play, and you play, and then they add up scores.
Not
so that's really
not malicious yelling. Just so you guys know.
No. It's mostly it was mostly Zachary and Ryan Fleming yelling at everyone to pay attention and your turn, and a bunch of run around and did you take this? Did you take this? So I have this. What's on the table? Who's got a skin? And like, we all got skins. We're all humans here. Yeah, it was just, like I said, I just kind of sat down, had some pizza that was provided, and let all of you people who understand the rules and can probably explain them tell me who I'm supposed to play.
Yeah, so that was that was myself and Darwin. Absolutely awesome, awesome format here. We'll talk about. I know you guys who won. We'll get to that in a minute. We didn't win. Yeah. But yeah, awesome format. 9 total teams came to Outrider 8. We played it in the Family Time Games store in Indianapolis, home of Hangar 19. Super awesome to just get together with all these people and play in a team format, which is something that is not part of the official tournament schedule, but honestly, I think for myself is my favorite X-Wing event of the year. Just the fact that each of your games matters more than just for yourself. Every time you win, man, that win feels amazing because it's not just for yourself, it's for the other people on your team. And I'll be honest, your losses, they hurt more too. But they hurt in a different way. You know, when I lose a game and I'm in a tournament, you know, that's just for myself. But when I lose for a team, it makes me want to be better. I don't know, it's just a different mindset. If you've ever played team sports or have been curious to know what that type of feeling of camaraderie is, and trying to make sure that your actions are positive for your teammates, I mean, X-Wing team events is a way to do it. And whether or not you can be a part of the Outrider Cup in the future, or maybe you organize something locally, I mean, it is absolutely amazing. And somebody in the chat does say Dion likes Outrider because he gets to play. I mean, not wrong. I do I do get to play, which is fantastic. So you know, we're going to talk some about that. Let's go ahead. We'll pull up the scores because I know people want to know what happened there. Congratulations to Indianapolis. I know this is like a giant grid, but you could pause it if you're at home or look at it later if need be. Indianapolis won the Outrider Cup with 18 points, followed closely behind, tied by both second place for Pittsburgh and Cleveland. And yes, if you look there, Chicago was tied for last place with Detroit and Fort Wayne, which, Luke, you were on the Fort Wayne team.
Yeah, I was.
Hey, you're tied for last, but at least you got cake. We tied for last. We didn't even get that.
Yeah, we got 7th place out of 9. How that works.
I actually tried the cake, and it was pretty good. It was all right. I want to note that Chris ate almost all the cake single-handedly.
How's it going, everybody? My name's Dion Morales. I'm your host of the Gold Squadron podcast. Well, I mean, that cake was, I mean, it looked delicious. People, I mean, why wouldn't you?
All right. For those of you listening that are like, what the hell are you guys talking about? Or what the heck are you guys talking about? The cake was something that one of the Indianapolis players decided would be very funny to go buy a cake that they were going to give to last place, that all it said on it was better luck next time. And the last place also got a prize of Dungeons and Dragons Attack Wing, which was probably supposed to mean we were supposed to try a different game. But little do they know that Fort Wayne is used to losing at these events.
Oh.
Oh.
So you came to play some games, and you left with cake. That's what, and extra toys. What, I mean, did you really lose? Did you?
Right, exactly. I mean, I feel like Gold Squadron and Detroit lost more than we did. I mean, we walked away with prizes. They walked away with the shame of tying for last.
Luke, are you going to repaint those dragons?
Actually, I've given Chico the painting bug, and so he wanted some stuff to try and practice some highlighting on, and so I think he's going to try his hand at that. If you guys, if the masses tell me that I must repaint one of those dragons, then I'll steal one from him and I'll paint it up.
There you go.
Right.
Marcel, you have any game highlights of the event?
Yeah, the first game was actually not very good. I played against Zach Bart, and that was it went south quick. I think Midnight rolled. I was flying quick draw Midnight, Null, and Scorch, and Midnight rolled absolutely 0 hits the entire game. And yeah, I just didn't. Yeah, Zach just wiped the floor with me. The other 3 games were a lot of fun though. I don't remember the guy's name, but I flew against a TIE Swarm, a named TIE Swarm, and that was competitive all the way till the very end. It flipped on a key moment that just it's one of those moments that you gotta bring with you to the real events. I'm not saying this is not a real event, but to the real competitive events where you're trying to make
the official events. Yeah,
official events, which is I had my Midnight with a target lock on the new Wampo, whoever is the one that turns crits into hits. And that's really what swung the tide. He threw a range 3 shot at quick draw, and quick draw was at 1 hull, but he was about to escape and turn around, and he rolled 1 natural crit, and I just assumed, okay, crit, flip it into a damage, I'm dead, and let's go on. And I had him target locked, so that's kind of like a ban on me. So it's just one of those reminders, like, oh, make sure you check make sure you check everything you have on the board before you go on. And then for the extended, I flew 5 A-wings, 4 of them named, and then just the green. And that was probably the most fun I've had playing A-wing. I mean, playing X-wing, and I don't remember how long. I mean, just those things move so fast. I got matched, or people matched against me. I played the first one against Gordon, and then I played the second one. I forget the guy's name, but he's from Hangar 19. I've played him a few times. And those things are just so much fun to go 5 forward and then put your arc to the back and boost and barrel roll boost and just do all kinds of they feel like interceptors is what they feel like. They feel like interceptors with a rear arc. I mean, they're more maneuverable than the A-wings used to be.
They're more maneuverable than an interceptor, because interceptors don't have
the rear arc.
They don't have 5 blues, and interceptors also don't have the 3 bank blue.
Yeah, and they also have not Talon rolls, but they also have the Segner sloops.
Yeah.
So they've got a lot of stuff going for them, but you're never gonna. Why would you ever used to take a red maneuver with those ships? I mean, those ships, they're gonna have arc on something every single time. The final game I played against Boba Fett escape craft, and Boba Fett only got to re-roll 1 die the entire match. It was beautiful. Those A-wings were all over the place, just zipping around. It was great stuff.
Will, what were some of these? So Will was in charge of the stream. Him and Johnny, they were holding down the fort. First, I want to publicly say thank you so much, Will, for helping me out with that.
Oh, that's no problem. I had a lot of fun.
So what were some of the highlights, some things you noticed, things about the format, the event? Go, the floor is yours.
It was actually interesting to get some like pure hyperspace games, because most people are just casually playing extended right now, and we haven't had a hyperspace only tournament, have we?
No, hasn't happened yet. I guess besides the Philadelphia Hyperspace trial. That was the first one.
Okay. Yeah, I thought they were pretty interesting. Got to see that the triple upsilon, which I didn't understand at first. Like, because this seemed like a pretty competitive tournament. So they I like that they had a lot of confidence in it, and it worked. Let's see what else. You already posted the Darwin's game.
Yep.
Against Daniel.
Yes. Game round 2 will actually be posted shortly after we finish our live podcast recording.
Nice. Yeah, Darwin was flying a really interesting double freighter, an old T-Rock list, and then Daniel was on Columbus's team, and they chose, because you had to pick the 3 of 5 factions, right? They chose Rebels for Hyperspace, and I was pretty interested in that, because it didn't seem like very many teams chose Rebels for anything.
No, yeah, I can actually pull that up while you continue. I mean, very few picked it, at least for Hyperspace. There was almost no very few Rebels.
Yeah, but it was mostly Supernatural Luke, and then a coordinating ship, and then Nora with Proton Torpedo, right? So kind of like a weird Rebel version of Whisper, Redline, Lambda. But it's, like I said, it's weird Hyperspace. They had to fly out Partisan U-Wing because there's no what is it, Blue Pathfinder or whatever.
Right.
I don't know. It was pretty interesting to see what people were bringing to, like, specifically a Hyperspace event, and we had, I'm trying to remember the 2 other games now for extended. I know we had Gary Boba versus Scum Swarm. And remind me what was the third game?
I haven't edited that one, so I don't know.
Oh, I'm drawing a blank now.
It's all right. No worries. But yeah, there was some good games. As for the Hyperspace information, I know a couple people had asked, could we get it onto List Fortress? The way that the event was structured, like, we decided, like, as Outrider, that it doesn't make sense to put it on List Fortress because there's no, like, the rankings are not person to person, so it would give some inaccurate data. We are trying to compile, like, we released the lists, and we're releasing the scoring of how everything went, so you can kind of make some assumptions. And we're also going to release Gold Squadron, the, like, prep documents that we did, so you can kind of do some quick analysis of what people brought. And I do think that looking at because you did have to pick 3 out of the 5 available factions for each of the formats, seeing the preferences for each team does give you some information. So just kind of looking at it on my screen on the right here, only 3 of the 9 teams chose to bring Rebels for the extended portion, and there is no, like, so Columbus and Pittsburgh. Right, yeah. Columbus and Pittsburgh brought it, and they were in the upper half of scoring. But also Pittsburgh brought Rebels, and they were in the in the bottom half. So, like, there no correlation there with, like, success rate. But one thing that I do see in common here is that majority of the people, every team except for the winning team, Indianapolis, brought Scum. So that was one thing that was consistent, is that a lot of people decided Scum is really, really good in Hyperspace, or at least the most flexible. What are your thoughts on that, Will?
Oh, yeah. I'm actually trying to get a TIE Fighter and Escapecraft Swarm going in Hyperspace. Because to be fair, they have 2 of the newest ships, the the Landos Falcon and the TIE Fighter, and everybody knows Boba's really good, and they still get two of their best extended ships, Boba Fett and Fen Rao. Plus, they have two of the newest ships, so it makes sense of why they're doing pretty well in the more limited hyperspace.
Fantastic. Now, before we close out, anything for Outrider chat? Do you have any questions about that? Any live questions about it as we close this section? Marcel, any closing thoughts about Outrider?
As far as for the people listening, I think the closing thoughts is if you're anywhere in the Midwest to the East Coast, or even as far south as probably you're getting down into the Georgia and things like that. Consider putting, if you have 6-7 people that I would say 7, because somebody you always want to have at least one backup. But if you have a good group of people, highly consider reaching out to Ryan Fleming, and I think he's the main person running the event. I think everybody knows who Ryan Fleming is. If not, you can just contact Dion, and he'll get you the information. But if you think you can get that many people, it's worth going. It's an event, but you want to do it now. You don't want to wait until they announce the next one, because you want to be part of the whole. If you're a captain, or if you're the one that's starting off, you want to be part of the conversation early on. You want to be part of the discussions, because again, it's complicated. Darwin and Dion did it for us. I think Chico and Luke did it for their team. It is not something that I would volunteer to do personally, because I just want to go and roll dice and say hi to people, but definitely worth going.
Yeah. So for the complicated part is the pairing process, which I think is really cool. If you want to just break it down to like as simple as possible, each team has 6 lists, and in each round what happens is, without the other teams knowing beforehand, once the pairing processes start, you take 3 of your lists and remove them from the 6. And now what happens is you do, depending on how you choose to do the pairings, you start pairing your list that you picked up with ones that were left on the table. That's the idea. We're tweaking some of the details in there, but that's just the basic idea. Is you have half your list that you can pair against other things, the other half that are left on the table. And before I forget, I cannot go without saying, giving a shout out to our MVP, Jeremy Shaver. This man, let me tell you this man, you are at a huge, I will tell you, in the event, you are at a huge disadvantage if you are a list that is left on the table to be paired against, okay? Because a team can take their best list and plop it against you. Now, you're fully aware that that's a possibility in the event. Like, it's not a surprise. He was on the table all 4 rounds. And for all 4 rounds, people looked at his list and went, I could beat that. And that man went 3-1 in the event. And, like, just kicked butt. He was our MVP, and I need to just give him a huge shout out. You see him playing on our league night. He's the funny guy.
and what did he fly for extended? He won with, what was he winning both matches with an extended? What was he flying?
So in extended, he flew Guri, Fen, and a Black Sun Assassin. That is the Initiative 3, I believe, Star Viper. And in both of those extended, you saw other teams look at his list and go, huh? We could beat that. You saw the body language. We could beat that. And he crushed both of those games.
Yeah,
man.
And they paired against him. They're like, I got initiative.
Yeah,
he's got a 6. I got a 6. He's got 5. I got 5s. I got initiative on him.
Yeah, our boy Jeremy Shaver, also soon to be helping out with some of the podcast stuff here. Not announced. I can't announce yet, but super excited about some of the things he's going to be helping us with as well. Luke, any closing thoughts about Outrider?
No, Outrider was super fun. I think that for those of you that are looking for takeaways from Outrider, there was a lot of Boba, Fen, escape craft in the Hyperspace events. and there was a ton of quad phantoms with juke. That's what I mean. I think those were by far the most populous lists that we were seeing throughout the day.
Agreed.
So if you guys are going to any big events for either Hyperspace or Extended, I would keep those lists in mind as things to practice against. Otherwise, that's really all I got.
That reminds me, Quad Juke Phantoms was the third game. I got crushed by our very own Star Vipers. Or not Star Vipers, they were Star Wings. The Imperial Star Wing. Major vendor out there.
Major vendor. Gunboats. Fantastic. Yeah, again, super excited about how Outrider went. I feel like I've said excited a million times in today's podcast, but I mean, just after that event, like I'm always just super jazzed. And I know for myself, the biggest takeaway is it being my first like competitive event of second edition. It really lit that fire, and for it to have been a team event, you know, yes, I will tell you, I did not do well. I went 1-3. Luke was one of my losses. He was my last round loss. But my losses, I would say, besides Luke's game, I made a couple of really boneheaded decisions. We both kind of traded some mistakes. It was pretty hilarious. We had a good time.
It was a fun game.
But my other two losses, they were, you know, if you guys have ever had those games where, you know, you lose the game, but you're like, you know what? Every decision I made was, like, I had a reason for it. Whether it worked out or not, you know, that is not the case. Like, I don't get bent out of shape usually. If I feel like I made a good decision, it just doesn't work out. And those were those type of games. Like, I was in it to the end, and it made me want to play. Now, don't worry. I'm going to be casting at all these events and stuff like that. I'm not going to abandon you guys. But it definitely took my X-Wing passion and just give it another reignition for the competitive game. And really excited to see how this competitive season comes up. We got system opens, we have hyperspace trials coming up, and we're going to be bringing you all that information. Yeah, so before we get into our closing, we've got a couple other things I do want to talk about, so don't leave us quite yet. Any shout outs you want to give, Luke?
Chico, you're my boy. Mega Silver's been popping around in chat. That's Tommy Adams. He's one of the Kentucky guys. He's awesome. Gordon Berg actually told me that I asked him about Twitch casting and all this stuff, and he said that his advice is what got me onto your show, Dion. So I guess I have to thank Gordon, but I don't want to thank Gordon. He's the worst.
Gordon is the best. That's the secret. He's the best.
He's the best. Yeah. But no, I mean, thanks to all you guys for all you Fort Wayne guys coming out. Tom, Chad, John, Victor. You guys are awesome. Thanks for coming out to Outrider. Thank you, Dion, so much for having me on. Thank you for providing the community to which we can really like grow together, and it's super fun. I really appreciate that. Yeah. And Marcel, I am super glad I dodged you all day on Saturday.
Yeah, we've got some trials coming up. Don't worry.
Fantastic. Will, anything you'd like to close with?
Yeah, I got a shout out to Johnny commentating with me. And for Marcel driving that Jaguar through the night.
For those of you who don't know, Marcel's a fancy businessman by day.
Yeah, it was a luxurious ride out to Indiana. It was great.
It was quite nice. It was quite nice. Marcel, any shout outs?
Yeah, just you know, to you guys, you know, for I missed the first couple Outriders. I was in Europe the first couple times, doing businessman stuff. But yeah, thanks for inviting me on the team. I mean, like I said, it's it's a great event, and it's really cool that I don't know, it was just really cool that to be part of it. So thanks for letting me in, being kind of a straggler coming in a little late into the game. So appreciate.
Of course, of course. Now, I have some shout out / surprise thing. You guys got to give me a minute though, okay? So this is definitely visual. So those of you who are at home, I will do my best, if you're listening to the podcast, to give you the visual, to paint some visual, what am I trying to say? Some auditory art, to give you a visualization of what is going on right now. Just give me a second. So I was looking at some dates here, and a couple weeks ago, we hit about a year of both Will and Marcel helping out on the podcast on a consistent basis. So me being I'm pretty emotional about these things. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna do a special thing here. So with our swag order, you can see got this sweater with my name on it, Gold Squadron Podcast there, and I want to say, gentlemen, thank you so much for your help. We got here Will Hagewood and Marcel Manzano with our logo on the back, our design. So this is a thank you gift to you, gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for your help.
Thanks, Dion.
Yeah, thanks. I'm feeling all warm and fuzzy inside now.
I do my best to try to take care of the people who help me out. So thank you, gentlemen, for helping me out. And it's kind of like a perfect transition because I want to say, Luke, I want to reemphasize, I'm extremely excited to have you become a part of the Gold Squadron team. Yeah, I'm pumped. I'm excited.
Me too, buddy.
Fantastic. So, as you guys know, we're on Twitch, we're on YouTube. You can watch live, you can watch rebroadcast. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're trying to get to that 6,000 subscriber mark. And if you have that Twitch Prime, if you need to re-up that, remember you can do that every 30 days. Also, this is something new. That not necessarily new, but something we've kind of refreshed and bringing back to life here. Join our Discord community. It's a perfect way to interact with your hosts of the Gold Squadron podcast one-on-one. We have special roles for people who are Twitch subscribers, who are patrons, and special rooms for you guys where we're discussing lists, general things about X-Wing and life and Star Wars. So go ahead, look us up there. You can see in the scroll bar down there the link, and it will be in the link of both the description of the podcast and the YouTube replay. So you can go ahead and join our Discord there. And lastly, but most importantly, if you want to become a part of the largest group of supporters of Gold Squadron Podcast, go to go to patreon.com/Gold Squadron. And you can become a patron and get some of that awesome mystery swag that is coming your way. There's a couple of things that I need to take care of before I can fully reveal, and this mystery stuff I'm going to fully reveal before I send it out because it's way too awesome to not do that. So for Luke, Will, and Marcel, my name is Dion Morales. Gold Squadron, out.